I want to show you how to put things together. I got my standing survival sauna. That's keeping me nice and warm. I got my tripod here with the bush pot, melting snow. I have my cattail fluff blanket, my survival scarf as a stretcher bed. I rigged together the tripods today, so there's a lot of things that fit together in the system of my videos. I have my pouch that I keep my gear in, and that's for you to survive. If anybody thinks I'm being overly dramatic with how good these ski shoes are, let's find out. That is no joke. Yeah, ski shoes are amazing. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another For You to Survive video. I want to thank my subscribers, all the survivors out there. Give me some feedback in the comment section. I'd like to know if my videos are too long or what's going to make them better for you to watch them. I'm going to cut out how to tie this tripod together so I save a little bit of time, but let's get going and let me show you how I got this chair. Now, this chair could be a situation where you're out hiking all day, snowshoeing all day, going, and you're exhausted. You just don't have the time. I mean, it took a lot of effort, and I had a snow shovel to scrape out the bottom here. I didn't know the ground wasn't going to be level. There's a big gap underneath me. Well, that's how it goes in the wintertime because everything snows in. So this chair kind of makes up for it. I use my survival scarf to make this chair and a tripod. Tripods are very, very useful. I use my walking stick as the seat stick, and I think the best way to show you how I made this is to deconstruct it. But I have plenty more and a couple surprises for you, so definitely keep watching. So what I did was I have a loop. I had this loop that I put on. It was that 4-foot cord that I used for the stretcher bed video. So same loop, put it over, make a lark's head knot, get your hand in, reach over, and then now you got the lark's head. Basically, I put the scarf in there. I put the scarf through it. You can see I have this cord here, so I could have used that for the supporting cord there. So now I can kind of lock it in. Now, depending on where I put this, if I make this longer, I could be more reclined. If I make it higher up here, like I take up more of the material, that makes a chair that's more upright. I'll show you what I mean by that. So now I'm more upright, so if I'm eating or going by the fire, doing something like that, that's how I would use it. But say, all right, just for this scenario, I hiked all day, I'm tired, exhausted. I can take 3 8-foot poles and I can even burn them with a fire. I wouldn't even necessarily need a tool. So I could construct some sort of way to get through a night. Now, it might not be fun, but it would work. So I'd have to have a fire, of course. But again, if I want to make this more chill, I take it, I loosen it up here, pull a little more scarf through it, lock down the lark's head, and I could even bring the poles forward a little bit more. But now, it's always good to make sure you're set up correctly. There we go. Now I'm more chill. Again, if I brought the poles forward, bring those poles forward a little bit, Make sure we're solid. And then now, yeah, this is more chill for sure. So I could put something under the feet. That is definitely more comfortable. But if I had a fire in front of me, I could be warm. But some of you might think, what about your back? Your back's going to get cold. I will address that later in this video at the right time. The chair panel in my survival scarf is coming in handy. So I sewed in around a 10-inch, actually it's about a hand span wide here. So I figured if I found a stick, this is my walking stick, but if I found a regular stick that's kind of thick, maybe a little bit bent, it would still fit in through here. So that gives me a little bit of leeway. I don't have to use the thickest stick here for the chair, but this chair would even work as is like this. You put the sticks on the side and you sit back. So that's all well and good, but some of you might not be comfortable with that. So that's where the adjustable safety loops come in. This is longer, maybe nose to fingertip, and I make a prosec knot with it. I put one end in and the other end in again. Then I grab that knotted end, and then that's the prosec loop. I have one on each side. One end goes through. The other end goes through. And that's a little bit more secure. Well, a lot more secure. Adjust your fabric as needed. Oh yeah. Now you might decide, like, that's a little bit lower than I care for. Okay, fine. That's why we have an adjustable system here. Raise it up a little bit. Adjust your scarf. Well, that's a lot better. Now I can chill. Maybe this is how I'd get through a night. I'd have a fire in front of me, staying warm, and every now and then tending the fire. Because that way I didn't expend a tremendous amount of energy seeing that I'm only going to be here for one night. If I was going to be here longer, hey, it might be a situation where it's worth it to build a shelter, a bigger shelter, and use that energy. But since I know I'm leaving in the morning, maybe I should save my energy to walk out home. That might be the better use of my energy. Now, there's a lot of ways of making a tripod. I did a respectable lashing up here. Some people say you can, make a tripod with way less string or cord, but whenever I taught beginners how to make a chair like this, the fear in their eyes whenever they were sitting down, not trusting the cord, so not trusting a tripod would hold them. I think that's very valuable, especially if you're going to spend a lot of time in this and maybe spend overnight. You don't want this to collapse in the middle of the night, then it's dark and you're going to have a hard time tying it up. So this is the chair. But wait, there's more. Remember that cattail blanket? Well, let's put that to good use. If you haven't seen that video, watch my cattail blanket video. This will give you an insight as how I got this, but there's a lot of insulation in here. Okay, let's make this happen. Same deal. Make that lark's head knot. Attach the top part through. Lock it down. Now I got to find a chair panel, which is here. Bring that stick through. It's important that this walking stick, or the stick that goes for the chair, is smooth, because you don't want to rip your survival scarf. It's a very valuable piece of gear, and that'll keep things intact. Well, let's use those safety loops. Might as well do a good job. Let's get this other one going. All right. I'll adjust it as needed. Now, you may notice that there's nothing here. There's so much insulation there. Well, distribute the insulation. Because we want insulation at our back, so our backs will be warm. And this is where those safety loops are coming in very handy. I'll just put that back where it belongs. All right. So that's a lot better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I got warmth on my back now. There's plenty of insulation behind me. So a fire in front of me and this scar filled with cattail fluff can make a big difference. Let's not stop there. A different time of year, you may have leaves at your disposal, maybe a sphagnum moss, maybe a grass at your disposal. Use what you have. You're out there to survive. That's important. We want to make it. All right, here's a tree. I'm going to put it to good use. I'm going to saw it a little bit. Going to make a pot hanger out of this one. Going to leave enough room for the pot. All right, got a decent sized pot hook. I left enough on the bottom so it's strong, but I got to take the bark off because the bark doesn't taste good if it gets dry and falls into the food or whatever you're cooking. So I'm going to take the bark off. Now that's a serviceable pot hook. It's fairly straight, strong enough at the base, and ready to be put on a tripod. Remember the pot hook? Well, it's smooth. There's no notches in there, but there's a way around it. Making notches, sure, it doesn't take too long, but this might even be quicker. It all depends on what kind of time and how fast you need to get the cook in. So again, that 4 foot loop, I'll make another prusik. One goes in, the other goes in, tighten it up, dress it up, right over the tripod. All right, get a pot full of snow. Now we have something to do. We can melt this snow with a fire. So I need to get a fire down here, but what if the fire's too high? Well, I adjust the pot hanger so it's higher. What if the fire is lower and I need to go to it? Well, adjust the pot hanger. So it's a very nice system. A tripod is very, very useful. If I wanted to, I could dry stuff. I could put a shirt. All right, here's kind of a puzzle for you. How do you hang up a broom with a small piece of string with a loop? The loop, somewhere around 4 fingers wide, doubled up, tied on one side. Here's how it's going to go. I'm going to put the knot through one side. I'm going to put the knot through the other side again. And that's kind of like a prusik knot. I could even do it one more time, but that's going to get it done. So the beauty is I can hang this up. Now I have a way of storing this broom hands-free, and it's going to work. I could even slide it up a little bit if I wanted a little bit higher. The application is a pot hook. Here's my pot hook. I'll put it up, get the pot on there, and if I need it higher, I raise it higher. If I need it lower, I raise it lower, and the knot holds it on there. Add 2 tripods and a pole to connect the top. Add a survival scarf. Usually I like to put the poles on the outside of the tripod, but this time I had them on the inside with those adjustable safety loops, so I was able to take care of business a lot quicker.
The arrows show how both bars are on the outside of the tripods. This is my preferred method.
You have to see what works for you. Add a tarp.
I added a tarp in summertime. I could have moved the bed a little bit over so it's more in the shade, but I want you to see how the overhead cover is made with 2 sticks.
Add a fire and add yourself. Oh, this is nice. I love it. Nice and comfy. Kind of a quick and dirty survival shelter. I use my walking stick to give myself a little bit more overhead coverage. I can adjust that. I also have just a chair. Only a chair. So it's not a survival scarf, it's a chair. You've probably seen this in the video for the ski shoe shelter. What I have here is a chair slot here. It's a little bit smaller, but that would definitely fit on the walking stick. So this is kind of like a mini chair. It's not really a survival scarf, so it takes up even less space, but it has a function of a chair. You can use it as a scarf and for other things, but there's so many options here. So many options. I could always stuff the chair slot on this scarf, use it for a pillow, but I'm just going to hang out by this cozy fire, enjoy the shelter. One thing I want to point out that's very important is the poles for the tripods have to be against something solid. In this case we have snow, which keeps the poles from sliding, but sometimes I put one of the poles, especially the back pole, against a tree, against a rock, or I dig a little divot in the ground, and that keeps the chair from sliding because you don't want to slide when you use the chair. Oh, this is great. I love it. Thank you for watching. For you to survive.